Okay, let's start our class. Let me check. Okay, we have covered 4 chapters previously. Yeah, your test 1 cover algebraic method, number system, complex number, indexes, and log. Today we do progression. You try to finish 1 chapter today. Because chapter 6 and chapter 7 quite deep. You deal with differentiation and integration, especially we will cover trigonometry equation, like you need to differentiate tan, cos, sine, and also integrate tan, cos, sine, and then do substitution and all this. Okay, so we will spend more time in chapter 6 and 7. Okay, again, there are 3 learning outcomes. So first one question, we always start with ask you to identify what kind of equation, what kind of principle, what kind of law that apply. Then you solve it, and then you analyze it. Analyze means you need to understand what actually the meaning of the final answer. Okay. Okay. So I give you assignment maybe another 2 more weeks. You need to pass up in one week after I give you. You need to pass up. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So today we will do 2 types of progression. One is arithmetic, one is geometric. Basically, you already learned this one in your SPM, right? Just need to refresh back what are the general equation to calculate arithmetic and geometric, and then I will give you a challenge question that more towards application of what we learned today, right? Okay, we start with arithmetic or AP. Yeah. So why we need to learn this AP is because nowadays we use a lot of computing calculation and also architectural engineering, especially when you simulate something, right? So you have all these in computing, you have all these stack structures, right? So there's a pattern in numbers. So it's either fall into 2 category. One is AP, another one fall into GP, right? We will see later. Yeah. So you will see this kind of number patterns to put inside the calculation. Okay. So some of it, if you go into biology, you will see the trend of bacteria growing. You will see the crop growing, right? So for engineering, aerospace, or mechanical, you will see how structure fail. All right. So if you pull something, sometimes you will see a certain pattern. If you pull a certain length or certain time, you will elongate a certain length. Right? Different material behave differently. So you will use this chapter knowledge in structure analysis and so on. Yeah? So these are all in financial. You will see some numbers pattern. Yeah. So, but we won't use this one in this chapter. Yeah? So something like this. So some architecture, like what are kind of structures, and then especially nowadays we have all the artistic structures in the round shape and so on. So there's some equation for that. Yeah? Okay, so we start with the first type is called AP, which is arithmetic progression. Arithmetic progression, which means if you recall what is linear graph, y equal to mx plus c, which is you will see a pattern continuous. For example, 10 kilometer per second, 10 kilometer, 20 kilometer, 30 kilometer, and so on. So it's a linear form, right? So first second, second, third second, fourth second, and so on. So it means you can see a linear, you can draw a linear line in the data. Okay, so something like this. So you will see like a linear form on the graph, right? So by this stage, you should already know what is linear graph, what is non-linear graph. Yeah. Okay. Another type is called GP. GP, you will see exponential graph, or you will see quadratic graph, and so on. Yeah, log graph, E graph, right? Epsilon graph, and so on. So this is a simple illustration of what is GP and what is AP. Okay, so there are two types of data that you will see in this chapter. One is AP, which is in linear form. So GP is exponential. These are two types of data you'll be seeing. So GP, you'll see something like you cannot draw in the linear form. You will see in the log form and so on. Yeah. So this is some of it. As you grow deeper, if you go and take oil and gas engineering, especially the drill design and so on. So you will cover geometric progression in your calculation. So this is one of the application where if you use a GP to identify the drill dimension. If you go and buy the drill bit in the market, there are certain category. So from big to small. So but there's a range of drill bit size. Maybe standard one 6 or 7, right? So if you go and buy, there are certain drill bit size, and there's a reason for it. Okay. Okay, so we start with AP, with its arithmetic progression. As you can see here, you are given a series of number 1, 4, 7, 10, and 13. If you plot on the graph y versus x, you will see that it's in the straight line, right? So how we, in mathematics, how we identify or how we like justify, or this is an arithmetic. So this usually is the first question. First question, section A. You need to identify what kind of data is this. So if you're given this set of data, 1, 4, 7, 10, and so on. So you know that there is a jumping of 3 difference between the numbers, right? But how you get 3? You take the second number minus the previous number, and so on. Okay. So in formula form, if it's in an AP sequence, you need to see in the general formula format, which is A, comma, A plus D plus A plus 2D, A plus 3D, and so on. So if the question asks you, if you're given this series 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, and asks you to identify this kind of data, you need to verify, you need to say this data is in the form of A, comma, A plus D plus A plus 2D, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you can stop at after 2D and then you use 3 dot to represent this is an arithmetic progression. Okay, so again, now you have 3 LO, learning outcome. One is identify, then analysis, and then analyze. Okay, so, and then you need to tell me what is the D lah. What is the D? What is the D? A is the first number, right? A is the first number. So this is how you identify a series of number. Yeah. Okay. So general expression, we use this equation to calculate the n term. Meaning if you given a few numbers in the series, you can guess or you can predict what is the number at the 100 position and so on. Okay, so this kind of arithmetic progression, you can use it in simulation, engine simulation, where you can predict like what kind of speed in front, what are distance covered after a certain period of time, and so on. Yeah. So and also used in space projection and so on. Yeah. So this is a formula. It's important. So in exam, usually it depends on the complexity of question. If final the question is complex, then we will give you this one in the reference in the appendix at the back of the question. So if you see this one in the test, remember to write general equation, usually have marks one. So a plus bracket n minus 1 and then multiply by the d. Okay, so a is the first number, and then d is the difference. How you get the d? You take the second minus the first one, or the third one minus the second one, and so on. It must be the same. So how you check it is an arithmetic series number? You need to check at least two sets. So 4 minus 1, you get 3. Then you can randomly check. You can take 7 minus 4, or you can take 10 minus 7. You need to check 2 times. Right? So if the first set you get 3, second set you get 4, then it's not arithmetic. It must be consistent. Yeah? So in this case, if the question asks you to find the 7th term, so here you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need to find the 7, the 7th term. So how you apply this equation? A plus bracket n minus 1d. So you need to tell the examiner what is A, what is D, and then what is n. Okay, you need to write A equal 1. D, how you find D? D is 4 minus 1, or 7 minus 4, you get 3. Right? N is the question term. Okay, n is the question asks you 7, you put 7 here. Okay, so this is how we expected in the answer, which is you give me the general equation, then tell me what is your A, what is your N, what is your D, and then substitute the value, then solve it. So N is 19. So you can guess also from here if you do manually. So you know that the difference is 3. So the 6th term is 16. The 7th term is 19. But if the question asks you 1,000 term, then cannot. So you need to use the general equation. Yeah. So this is how you how the computing or prediction or simulation do that. It can predict a certain point after you put in the parameter. Okay. So this is the first equation. I think there are 6 equations throughout this module. 6. I think less than 10. So AP first equation will be the n term. The n term will be A plus n minus 1 D. Okay, so this is quite simple. So remember to tell me what is your unknown. A, what is D, what is n in your answer. Okay, next, once we're able to find what is the exact number of that position, we're able to find the sum of all the series, right? So we will be using this term. So the average terms is how you find average. You take the first number plus the last number divided by 2. Okay. So you rearrange the equation, right? So you want to find the last term is L equal to A plus n minus 1 D. So the sum of a term is, you can written as this form. Okay. So second equation, which is the sum Sn in arithmetic, will be n A plus L divided by 2, or it depends on the question. You can expand this one into the A plus A n minus 1 d. Okay, so these are the second equation that you need to memorize for AP. Okay, means in the general idea how to get the sum is you take the average value. You take the average value multiply by the number of term that you need to calculate. Let's say you have a AP of 100 numbers, right? So it asks you to calculate the total of 100 numbers in AP series. So what you do, you take the average, multiply by 100 numbers, you get the sum of number. This is approximate method. It's called approximation method. Yeah. Okay. Or in short, if you further extend this one, right? So if you break the bracket, you have A plus A, you get 2A. And then n minus 1 bracket, you carry, D you carry. Okay. So this will be the general term for sum of the term. N divided by 2, 2A, n minus 1, D. So in exam, you can give me any of these, but preferably is the one that I highlight with the box. So there are two equations to memorize for AP. One is calculate the number of term in the series of AP. Second is to calculate the sum of addition of that series. So nothing complex here. Just a formula to memorize and then just apply. Okay. Yeah. But the concept behind is basically to take the average of that series, then multiply by the number of term. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay, so there's a tutorial question. Okay. All right. So if the question asks back you to calculate this sum of series 147 that we seen just now. So if you want to calculate the total 7 term in the series, start from 1, right? Start from 1, then you apply the series. Okay. So here you just substitute. Your A is 1, N is 7, D is 3. So you just substitute the value. So N equal to 7 because question asks you to calculate all the 7 terms in the series. Right? A is 1, N is 7, D is 3. So this step is important. So in the test or final exam, you need to give me the general equation that you're using. After that, substitute the number. You need to show me this number. Don't suddenly give me the final answer. You need to give me the general equation, substitute the number, and then remember the way you write is Sn, S sub n. So don't write S. If the question asks you 7 term, you write S sub 7, and so on. Okay. Then you calculate. Okay. So you can skip these steps after you have shown me how you substitute. You can skip this step and straight give me 70. Okay. Any questions so far? No. So it's just an application of equation. Right. So this is just a quick exercise. So if you're given 2, 7, 12, and 17, before you start, you need to identify what series first. We have 2 types, AP and GP. So AP, you need to look at the numbers. You need to write 2, 7, 4, 12, 17, then dot, dot, dot is what? is AP or GP? You need to identify first. So you write. So this is AP, arithmetic, yes. No, you copy this one. You write 2, 7, 12, 17, dot, 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 is arithmetic progression. One line, one line. And then why it is AP, why? So because it's in the format of, yeah, because it's in the format of this one. You need to write this one. Yeah, this one. This one. If we ask you to identify, so there must be a reason why it's AP, right? So you need to write is in the form of this one. A, comma, A plus D, comma, A plus 2D. You can stop at here. Then give me 3 dot. Means you give me the series, then you write the reason, because it's in this format. In general, format is in this pattern. Because this is arithmetic pattern. Yes, like this. So A, comma, A plus D, comma, A plus 2D. Here. This is the reason how you justify your answer in mathematics. Okay. Because why? When you after you graduate, you work in the field, you need to talk to those technicians. So they don't understand why the pattern is that. So you need to tell them this. You should able to explain to them, oh, this is why. Okay. Okay. First identify first, then you follow the question. It's up to you 9 terms. So you pull out the equation. If we ask you 9 terms, you write NTH double dot A plus bracket N minus 1D. You write this general equation. Then you substitute value lah. So 9 term, this one N equal 9, A equal 2, D you take off, D equals 7 minus 2, or 12 minus 7, or 17 minus 2. Yes. Don't assume everyone know what you are writing. So meaning your answer should be able to, somebody not studying engineering mathematics, when you look at your answer, he or she understand. Okay. Okay. So you first identify like this, right? So with a D of 5, right? So it's in this form lah. So then, yeah. So you substitute value on it lah. So you write lah, the 9 term, or you can just write 9th term equal, then the general equation. Just substitute. Write A is what, N is what, D is what. Substitute. Then press calculator. All right. Those have problem with minus sign or negative number, you need to practice more. In the tutorial, you always see positive value, but in test, sometimes we give you decimal place, give you fractional numbers, then you need to practice. Okay, so for this tutorial question, this quiz quick question is 42. So you can see the working for 16 term in the next slides. So I don't need to go through the 16 slide. But if you understand this one, you should be able to do the 16. So the answer for 16 means you change the N equals 16. The rest is same. A same, D same. Yeah? All right. So the answer for the second one, 16 term, is 77. You can check after the class. Yeah. Okay. So sometimes it just gives you a puzzle. Right? It gives you a puzzle. Mean it tell you sextums of an arithmetic progression data is 17. Then the 13 terms in an arithmetic progression is 38. Ask you to determine the 19. This is the like a test or final exam kind of standard lah. It won't be so strict, so direct like the previous one. So something like this. So how you answer this kind of question? Again, general equation. There are only two equations in this one. So one is n term equal to a plus bracket n minus 1d, and the sum, which is this one, right? What like you see in the whiteboard. So you are using the first one. So the first one is 17 and sextum. So sextum, you write sextum n equals 6. A you don't know. You just put A equal to A. Then D you also don't know. D you also don't know. So you continue to write D equal D. Then the third one, the second info, 13. 13 is n13, n equal 13. Then 13 term is 38, so 38 is here. So you are solving simultaneous equation. So it's back to chapter 1. Okay, so here you can use either substitution or elimination. So it depends. So when it comes to like chapter 5, we don't force you to use any method, but it's solving simultaneous method. So you can see, so this the way you solve. So this kind of question, you need to write the general equation. After that, you have two linear equation or two equation. So you solve these two, solving for two unknown, which is A and D. And after you solve A and D, you substitute back, find the third instruction, which is the 19th term. So 19th term is 19 here, 19th term. A you already know from the simultaneous solution, and then N you know already 19. D is from the simultaneous equation solution. Yeah. So try to understand the strategy how to solve it. The rest numbers can change in test or final exam. Yeah. So I just show you very quickly how you solve. So first you write the equation, n term equal what? N term equal to a plus n minus 1d. I write this general equation. Then you solve for the sixth term and 13th term. So you get two equations. Remember to start practicing to label your equation. Observe many of you don't have this habit in test 1. So always remember to identify or ident your equation. So first equation is like this, 6 terms. Second equation for 13th term. So there are two unknown, which is A and D. So you solve whichever that is quite simple. So for me, I use the elimination method because A is simple, right? So I use minus equation 1 minus equation 2. I eliminate A. I find for D. So for D, So this one, so I don't go through the simultaneous equation step anymore. So as long as you understand, so you find the D is 3. Once you find 3, substitute back either one of the equation, find A. Okay. So A is 2, right? Remember to structure your answer. You need to tell me what you're trying to do. If you need to substitute, you need to write substitute what in what. Okay. From here, your D is 3, A is 2, so you're able to find the 19th term. We just call out the general equation again, right? So 19th term equal A is 2, D is 3, N is 19. So solve it. The answer will be 56. 56, yeah. Okay. So this is a linear form. Okay. Again, this is a estimation, a prediction, right? and we assume the numbers is in the with the constant changes of d. Okay. So sometimes you see factorial number. Okay. So be familiar with different kind of format of numbers. So here you see the series of number. First, you need to identify what type of data it is. You have AP and GP in this chapter. So you look at the data, and then are you able to find A, comma, A plus D, and then so on? Are you able to write in that form? So you need to identify it, or you can have a same D. Same D. You take the second term minus the first term. You get the first D, and then take the third term minus the second term. Then do you get the same D? If you get the same D, then it's AP. Yeah. So it's AP. So again, you need to tell me the reason why this one is AP. Yeah. It's either two-way. Either you tell me the difference of first difference is the same. Means you take term number 2 minus term number 1, you get the first D. And you take the third term minus second term, you get the second D. It's the same D, then it's AP. Or you write the long A comma A plus D comma and so on. Okay, then tell me what's D. Okay, so here straight away you're able to find. I ask you to find the number of terms whose value is 22nd. So here you write the general equation. It asks you to find the number of terms, 22. So still you pull out the general equation. N term equal to A plus bracket N minus 1D. So this question gives you N term, 22. So 22 is here. Okay, 22 here. A, you know. A is 5 over 2. 5 over 2. And sometimes if you don't see the question ask you to put in decimal place, you need your answer we expect is in fractional form. If you don't see the question, put your answer in 3 decimal place or in 3 significant place, meaning the final answer is in fractional form. Okay. Okay. This one you should be able to understand. A equal to this number, D equal to this number. Substitute back here. 1 is missing, which is the N is missing. Solving linear equation. So substitute, right? N is 40. And the N is not necessary full number, because it might tell you time, it can ask you to find sequence and so on. Later in the challenge question, you will see. Okay. All right. So this one, if you understand these slides, you should be able to understand this one. Right. You're given 5, 9, 13, 17. And it didn't tell you whether what kind of series data. First, you need to identify. So look at the data. Is this AP? So the very first reaction is you take the second term minus the first term, or third term minus second term, or you write the long answer A, comma A plus D, A plus 2D, and so on. Okay, then find the D. Right. So here you know that it is AP, which is the difference is 4. D is equal 4. Right. Then you write the general equation. N term equal to A plus bracket N minus 1D. Substitute all the information you know. Here N equal to 12, D equal to 4, A equal to 5. Okay. So it should be using the equation. Sum, it asks you to find the sum. Sum equal to N divided by 2 bracket 2A plus N minus 1D. So some of the mistakes that we've seen in the exam is you forget the 2 here. You write n divided by 2 bracket a plus n minus 1d. You will forget the 2 here. So don't miss out the 2. Okay, the rest is substitution. Remember, you need to show me the substitution. And then the way you write is the presentation of answer. If it asks you to sum the first 12, you need to write S sub 12. Don't continue Sn, Sn, Sn. So if you continue write Sn, it might be confusing for the markers. Okay. Answer is 324. Yeah. Right. So nothing complex here. So this is a practice exercise. So for those that your name have the star one, so pick maybe 3 questions from here. You do, and then you show me next week. Okay. So this is for you pick like any 3 from here, then you show me. I get the answer, right? Yeah. This is the practice exercise in I think question number what? Question number 10 in the tutorial handouts. So pick 3 from here. Those that your name have the star one. Okay, go and find. All right. And the answer is on my slides here. All right. So my slide will be available on the island, so you can check the answer whether correct or not. Yeah. Okay. So this is a further exercise or the kind of question you will see in test or final exam. So it will given you some information and then you work out, you reverse back the process. So like for example, this one, sum of 7 term is of an AP. It tell you directly AP. So you use the second equation of this chapter, which is a sum equation. It's 35. And the common difference is given. Common difference is D. D is given. So it asks you to determine the first term in the series. So basically also solving simultaneous equation. Okay, so first info is this equation, Sn equation. Sn, here you have the Sn35 in the front. And the D number you know, so you have 2 unknown with the A and N. N is 7. N is 7. So you're able to find your A already, right? Find your A already. So this one actually not simultaneous. It's actually just finding the unknown. Okay. So this is how we ask you. So here it can be application like ask you if you drill something, the hole expand or something. So what is the initial hole size, for example? So again, just a reminder, you need to tell me what is the unknown that you substitute, right? So if you directly like this also can, as long as I can see the sequence of the first one Sn, and then the structure you can directly compare side by side, then it's okay. Yeah. So some of you like to write your answer somewhere else lah. So if you like to take your answer somewhere else, it's good to tell me what is your N, D, and A. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 1.2. D is 1.2. I think it's so 1 is mistaken here. So this is my slide lah. My slide got typo error there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you need to show this one just a reminder. So the A is 1.4. Okay, so this is just maybe some illustration of what going to happen, your careless mistakes. You know how to do, but sometimes your hand and your brain, you don't write the 1.2 something like this, missing. Okay, all right. So the first term is 1.4. So for this engine mathematics, you need to always tell the conclusion. Tell the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Okay, the rest I think you can go home and have a look. So it's also same. So it asks you AP and then the sum is 15. Sum means if you're given the sum means you use the SN equation, and their product is 18. Determine the three numbers. Okay, so meaning this one, it asks you to identify in the series data. You need to try to pick three numbers within the series number, which is the product is 80. So here the step is you call out the general equation, which is Sn equal to something, right? Call out the general equation and the nth term, because you need to find what are the three numbers. So basically for chapter 5 question, these are the two equations you need to memorize, and you need to write it because these are free marks equation. You write, you got mark. You don't write, you don't have mark. Okay. Okay. So we just guess. We just guess. We don't know what, but we start to have assumption. So in the degree question, degree level question, we always like to assume something. Assume what? Okay. So here is an example. So you assume that we are solving for three numbers and we use general numbers. The middle number is A. The number before the A is A minus D because it's AP series. Right? Before is minus, after is plus. Okay. Or maybe you can ask, can I use A plus D bracket A plus 2D and not can? You can still use. So it means that you can use that, but I use these three terms. I add them together is 15. So this is just actually is playing with the general equation with this unknown number in the general form. We call this one solving with using general form. So you put in the ABCD unknown format, then you solve it. So here you just use the info and then convert into general form format. In this case, A bracket A minus D plus A bracket A plus D equal 15. Then the second, then you can solve lah. Here, you're actually removing the D already. But if you are using the previous one, A plus B, A plus 2D, you're unable to remove the D. Okay. So here you solve for A. This is another clever way of doing it. Okay. So another one is called, it give you another information is the product is 80. So you use the products, which is A bracket equal 80. You expand it, you get quadratic equation, not quadratic, cube equation, right? You get something like this. But you already have A, right? Substitute A here. You solve for one unknown, which is square root of something. Then you have positive value and negative value. Then you need to guess what value is more makes sense. This is more higher level kind of question. Okay, so you solve for the D. All right, you solve for the D. I'll just keep the steps. So the rest you can check during your revision. So D again is square root. You got positive, negative numbers. You need to check whether the D is positive or negative. Check by checking back whether the sum is 15 or not. What? Anything typo error? Which step you seen got issue? Oh, you don't understand this one, is it? Here ma, this equation. You understand why we have this equation now? Because their product is 80. Means these three number you multiply them together, you get 80. So A is the first number ma? Or you can just write like this. This one multiply this one multiply this also can. It's just the position only. You can put one more bracket A here lah. It's the same. You can put a bracket here A. Okay. It's just sometimes when we solve equation, we try to arrange it in the neat way lah. Okay. Okay. So here you need to make decision. It's a decision point. Which number is more senses? Because D you have positive and negative number. So you need to test the number. Test the number how? Test by the sum. The sum. So you have A and D ma. So you have the three numbers A minus D, A and A plus D. So you can write out case 1, D equal positive 3. So substitute here. Positive 3, A is what? A is 5. So 5, positive 3, 5 minus 3 is 2. So this is 5, 2, 5, and then add this one. So do you get 15 or not? If not, then you try case number 2 with the D equal minus 3. Yeah. So here, the number is minus, 3, positive number. So you need to test. At the degree level, you need to know how to explain things. Why it is not minus 3? You test. Okay, so this kind of high level things. So here also same, ask you to guess a number, which is you're given, this is not fair this question actually. It need to tell you what series numbers is it, GP or AP. If you see this one, there are two possibilities, either it's AP or GP. So you need to call all the equation that you learned in this chapter to guess what is this question trying to ask you. But this question is not fair lah. I mean, to me, it's not fair. It should tell you whether it's AP series data or GP data to save your time, because you only have 2 hours to solve question, right? So here it tell you find the sum of all number between 0 and 27, which are actually divisible by 3. So divisible by 3 means you can write the series, which is 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. So you should be able to convert info into data. Yeah. So here you have the first number, you have the last number. If you have A, you have the last number. You know the difference. You should be able to use these two equations. You should be able to guess what the term and also find the sum. Some of you have problem converting this statement into data. You're stuck between here. Okay, the rest you just work accordingly lah. So how many terms? So term is 69 numbers within there, all right? So then you use the sum equation. What? Which one? The previous question is it? This one. This one, you can just tell me what is the first number, second number, third number lah. You need to tell me what is your D. D equal what? It is a positive value or negative value? Yeah, if it's both, then both correct. You will still get the same number if it's both. Yes. For AP, you only have one set. If you GP later, because quadratic equation, you have two value. This is for AP. So if the same question, I change this one to GP later, then you have two answers. Okay. All right. So I think we have lots of information. The rest you have a look. If you have question, you can come and ask me. Right. It's just a compilation of what you learned just now. Yeah. Okay. Just a refresh or summarize for AP for today is that you need to know how to identify and then explain why it is AP. You need to know how to write A, comma, A plus D, A plus 2D, dot, and then tell me what is A, what is D. Then remember the two equations, N term and Sn. Okay. Don't forget, if you need to solve simultaneous equation, remember to label equation 1, equation 2. Then what you're trying to do. Okay. So this is an example of have decimal place. Yeah, have decimal place. So have a look lah. This one, you go home and have a look. Yeah. So this one is another one. Application, all right? So you have a look lah. Sometimes it's because of you don't understand what is meaning by the English paragraph. All right. So here you read and then you convert into the data. Okay, and then you find lah. Okay, so this one also your homework, go and find, go and see. Okay, so this one arithmetic, again, those with the name with star, find 3 questions to solve. Then show me next week. So you need to solve question 10 and 16. Okay, the answer is here. So GP will continue next week. Okay, we'll continue next week. So we'll discuss one challenge question, then we dismiss for today. All right. So stop the recording.